Hey everyone, we're here in South Korea, specifically Seoul, and today we're going to be taking a walk northbound towards the Gyeongbokgung Palace, which is a really amazing piece of history here in Korea. Now the palace dates back all the way to the 1300s and the Joseon dynasty. Here we're right at the subway entrance, and you're also looking up at the Four Seasons Hotel here in Seoul. Now I'm here because it is very close to the Seoul National University Hospital, and they have a specialization in all different types of cancers, specifically pancreatic cancer. And it is not only one of the best hospitals in Korea, it is one of the best hospitals in the world. So I'll be staying close there, hanging out with some friends and family. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get this walk started. It's about 30 degrees Fahrenheit. It's a beautiful sunny day here in Seoul. And you're going to see a lot of rich culture. As we get a little bit closer to the palace, one thing you're going to notice is a lot of people wearing traditional clothing. It's the traditional Korean outfit, or costume if you will, and it is called hanbok. Now to get into the palace, it's roughly 3,000 Korean won, or about $3. However, if you do choose to wear the hanbok, which is the traditional Korean clothing, they will let you go into the palace for free. One of the things I love about Seoul is, obviously it's centrally located, but you're surrounded by mountains. So if you're staying in a hotel and you're on a high floor, you have these beautiful sunsets overlooking the mountains. And it was snowing yesterday, so you had a lot of these snow-covered and snow-capped mountains. This is not too far away from the Gangnam district, which is the main business district in Korea. You have the main COEX Center, as well as the Park Hyatt Hotel. Alright, so once we have the walk sign, we are going to cross the street. That's one thing you'll notice. It's definitely not like New York City, when you could pretty much cross whenever you want. You do have to wait for the walk signs. Go ahead and take a look at this monument. Once again, this is all from the 1300s, the Joseon dynasty, which was one of the last dynasties in Korea. And I'll show you some of the translations here. The traditional Korean alphabet, the Hangul. And even over here, you can see some of the traditional Korean architecture. Now, right in the Gangnam district, there's one of the main temples, which I visited earlier. And it is so beautiful. It's really stunning. I would say that's really one of the main things that you should do if you're visiting Korea or Seoul, is visit all the main temples. It's definitely quite the juxtaposition in terms of architecture from the United States. Again, as we walk a little bit further towards the palace, you're going to see even more of the traditional architecture. What I have noticed as a tourist, obviously if you're not from Korea and you can't speak or read in Korean, it's much easier to get around on the bus, I take it. Because when you're in the subway, everything is obviously in Korean, so it can be a little bit confusing to get around. And I think the bus is just a lot more efficient and really, really fast. Here you have a Korean Starbucks. One of the things you'll also notice about Korea is they're huge on like cafe culture. They love coffee. You have Mega, which is one of the brands here. You have Holly's, which is another coffee company here. And Koreans really, really, really love coffee shops and cafes. Here you have a museum here. You can kind of see the palace coming into view now. And you have that beautiful backdrop in the mountains. It's a really amazing experience to be able to walk through the Gyeongbokgung Palace, because that's quite literally where kings would walk and study and read. Again, dating back to the 1300s, which is pretty insane. There's also a very famous changing of the guard ceremony that happens 4 times a day. So you can see here's some like tour guides. If you want to take a guided tour, you could do that. It's really amazing being here. Wow, just incredible. You also have a big police presence, so it feels very safe. There's virtually no crime here in Korea. And another thing that's quite interesting is the police officers don't carry weapons. So very, very seldom will you see police officers here in Korea with any guns or weapons. At the airport I saw some, but Another thing that's very helpful about the public transportation here, particularly the bus, they'll announce the stops in both Korean and English.
그러나 저희들은 지금 이 정치를 위협하는 미국의 장갑차, 미국의 총수에 맞서서 반드시
And now we have the palace coming into view dead center. Once again, it's roughly $3 USD to get in here, but if you do wear the traditional Korean clothing, the hanbok, they do allow you to go in for free. If you turn back here and you see the Four Seasons Hotel, it has some really, really amazing views of the palace, and it looks amazing at night because you have a bird's eye view inside the palace, so you can see the entire thing. And it has some really, really great sunsets. Another thing you'll notice about Korea is everything is really technologically advanced here. Specifically the subways, they're extremely clean. They're extremely, extremely safe. And it's just very modern, very, very modern infrastructure. If you look closely, and you're going to see it a little bit better as we cross the street, you can see some of the traditional Korean clothing. Here's a shot looking back from where we just were. So this would be facing like the Gangnam district, the main business district. But if you're on the main campus of the Seoul National University Hospital, that is a very, very fun area. There's lots of coffee shops, lots of restaurants, really good Korean barbecue, and there's a lot of young people. Obviously a lot of students. So it's very, very fun. So this 601 bus, I believe, will take you right there, or maybe the 401. Okay, now we have the walk sign. Man, this place feels really, really massive in person. Like walking up to it is pretty surreal almost. Here's a really beautiful view with the mountains in the back. There's snow capped today. We did have some snow in Seoul yesterday. Wow, just the detail in the architecture is unreal. You can see some of the traditional Korean clothing here. Wow. It's so cool because Seoul is so modern, so you can see all these tall skyscrapers, go over by the Lotte Tower. You have all of these modern amenities, but mixed in the city, you have buildings that are over 500 years old. It's a very cool experience. And just the detail is just, my gosh, it's almost kind of indescribable. All right, so we're officially entering the palace now. I'll show you some of the really beautiful painting on the ceiling. the colors here are so vivid too. And then here's a view, kind of what I was talking about earlier. So you have all these buildings from the 1300s, and then in the backdrop you have, you know, a super modern metropolis. All right, I just wanted to give you guys a quick view in and around the Seoul Four Seasons, walking up to the Gyeongbokgung Palace. So if you enjoyed the walking tour, feel free to leave a like on the video, click the subscribe button if you're new, and we'll see you all soon back in New York City. Thanks so much for watching.